Public pressure forces changes at the Athens County Board of Elections. Tensions run high while OU searches for a new gay rights advocate. And in sports, an Ohio softball player breaks a program record. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Good evening, I'm Ben Schwartz. Thanks for joining us. The Athens County Board of Elections passed a motion today to move 6 polling locations back to their original spots. The Lodi location will be at the Lodi Community Center. The new Marshfield and Waterloo locations will be at the Waterloo Community Center. Nelsonville locations 1 and 2 will be at the Nelsonville Public Library. Nelsonville locations 3 and 4 will be at the Wesleyan Church. York Township location will be at the Nazarene Church, and the Butchell location will be at the St. Mary's Catholic Church. The board initially voted to consolidate the locations because they believed it would help make the voting process for the county more efficient. Board Director Debbie Quivy said the board decided to move back the locations after they received opposition from the public when they voted to consolidate them in February.
It had everybody here upset, and after the last meeting I decided enough is enough. As I said, it's time to go a different direction.
Quivy said she hopes moving the locations to their original spots will allow the board to focus on the election in May and on finding a polling place to replace East Elementary School. You can find all of these locations and more information online at woub.org. A Chillicothe man who filmed his mother assaulting the mother of his ex-girlfriend is going to prison. Austin Vest was sentenced to 3 years yesterday after he pleaded guilty to aggravated burglary. The charges stem from an incident in January where Vest and his mother broke into his ex-girlfriend's home. On the Facebook video, Vest's mother is seen punching his ex-girlfriend's mother. 2 men are facing charges after allegedly holding a 14-year-old boy hostage for money. Marietta police say Kyle Davis and Jarrett Mole kidnapped the boy Monday because he owed Davis $650. They allegedly drove him around the city and forced him to call multiple people to get the money. The boy was able to escape when his grandmother chased the suspects while relaying information to police officers. The first of 4 candidates to fill the vacant position of Ohio University's LGBT Center Director is in town and meeting with students and faculty to see if they fit the job. We spoke with some LGBTQ students to see how they feel about this new chapter for the center and community.
Roxy Patton is currently an Associate Director at the College of William and Mary's Center for Student Diversity. She grew up as a member of the LGBT community in Appalachia, only about 30 minutes away from Athens. Patton's day-long tour of the university began this morning in a meeting with students and LGBT Center staff members, most of whom are still feeling distraught about the firing of former director Delphine Batista earlier this year. Christina Van Fossen is a junior at Ohio University and visits the center regularly. She says she appreciates Patton's willingness to understand the situation she would face as an incoming director.
One of the things I appreciated the most was that she was transparent in the fact that she understood and had heard things about what was going on at our university in terms of Delphine and the unsettling and uneasy transition that the students have been going through. And so I think that we all really appreciated that she didn't just act like that never happened.
Patton spoke on the center's situation as well during an open forum discussion. And while as a newcomer she can't fully understand how LGBT students on campus feel about a new director, she does know that the issue needs to be addressed.
It doesn't matter how things happened or why things happened, people feel hurt. They feel unheard, they feel unseen, they feel like a valuable person to them was taken away. And I think regardless of how it unfolded, we have to acknowledge that space. We have to hold space for that grieving. And to recognize that the relationship with the center is going to look different because of that.
And Patton isn't wrong in her assumptions. Destiny Jerem is a staff member at the center who, while appreciating the work to find a new director, is still upset about how this semester has been handled.
It's frustrating as well that we're finally getting the resources and support that the center needs and that students need on this campus, but it really did take a tragedy to get there. We shouldn't have had to I should not have had to go through so much stress and trauma, honestly, with the administration and with my school, and realize that I cannot trust this school and I'm not comfortable here and I'm not looked after, at least right now I'm not.
The 3 other candidates for the director position will be coming to Athens as well. Tomorrow, Elliott Director will be in town with meetings with students and staff as well as an open forum discussion planned for Friday.
Hello, I am Adelaide Karwish, and today was a beautiful day. Right now in Athens, 59 degrees, and it's gorgeous outside. It is just unbelievable how beautiful this day was. I just taken a walk right now, 59 degrees, humidity at 20%, winds to the south-southwest at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Let's take a look everywhere else. Columbus at 57, New Lexington at 55. Ripley at 62, just everywhere in the upper 50s and sometimes even in the 60s, all sunny all around. You can barely see a cloud in the sky. You take a look at tonight in southeastern Ohio. Athens at 37, Columbus at 35, New Lexington at 36. Only Ripley is at 41. All around, it's still pretty cold out, and it's going to be all around pretty cold for the night, but it's still going to be quite clear. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Adelaide. Ohio officials are taking steps to address racial harassment at a General Motors plant in Toledo. The Attorney General's office will lead 2 days of civil rights training tomorrow and Friday. All 1,700 workers at GM's transmission plant in Toledo will be required to attend one of the sessions. A group of GM workers are suing the company, saying it hasn't done enough to stop harassment. GM says it has no tolerance for racist behavior. And a new plant is coming to Lancaster and bringing 300 new jobs. Magna International manufactures automotive systems and other components for cars and light trucks. That's in Lancaster. A company spokesman says the new location at Lancaster's Rockmill Industrial Park will focus on automotive seats. The announcement came after the Ohio Tax Credit Authority approved an 8-year job creation tax for the project on Monday. Mayor Steve Patterson isn't the only mayor who has endorsed Governor Mike DeWine's gas tax proposal. Members of the Ohio Mayor's Alliance announced their support yesterday. They urged lawmakers to, quote, get close to the governor's 18-cent increase. Ohio's cities, counties, and townships could use part of the gas tax revenues to maintain roads and bridges. The state legislature has until Sunday to agree on the gas tax and produce a state transportation budget. 2 deadly plane crashes killed nearly 300 people combined. Now lawmakers are questioning why the FAA didn't ground the Boeing planes immediately. The details of that hearing when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box. But the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-future teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
In the wake of 2 deadly plane crashes, lawmakers are now scrutinizing the relationship between Boeing and the federal government. Boeing is now attempting to fix an element of the plane's design that investigators believe led to the recent disasters. Omar Jimenez explains.
We need to understand exactly what happened.
On Capitol Hill, there are growing questions about why the FAA didn't immediately ground Boeing's 737 MAX 8 planes in the wake of 2 crashes that killed more than 300 people combined.
These questions, when they arise, if they arise, are troubling because we should have absolute confidence in the regulators that they are certifying properly.
The agency claims it wasn't seeing any systemic performance issues.
You know, the FAA is a very professional, fact-based organization, and they don't make decisions that are too hasty.
But they're decisions that are oftentimes made in conjunction with the manufacturer. The official causes of the crashes are still being determined, but the focus has been on an automatic safety feature that may have incorrectly forced the nose of each plane to dip. The company continues to insist their 737 MAX planes are safe and is set to implement a software fix and enhanced training for pilots.
We're working with customers and regulators around the world to restore faith in our industry and also to reaffirm our commitment to safety and to earning the trust of the flying public.
Boeing plans to submit their final compliance documents for the software update to the FAA by the end of the week. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Acting Federal Aviation Administrator Daniel Elwell says U.S., Canadian, and European pilots flew the new and older planes in simulators and agreed that the new software performed similarly and that additional training was not needed. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is facing sharp pushback over a proposal to cut federal funding to her department. Lawmakers took particular issue with proposed cuts to programs that benefit disabled and disadvantaged people, like the Special Olympics.
Do you know how many kids are going to be affected by that cut, Madam Secretary?
Mr. Procan, let me just say again, we had to make some difficult decisions with this budget.
Again, this is a question of how many kids, not about the budget.
I don't know the number of kids.
It's 272,000 kids. That's all. I'll answer it for you. That's okay. No problem. It's 272,000 kids that are affected.
Is an awesome organization, one that is well supported by the philanthropic sector as well.
Sure.
Welcome.
DeVos says she personally supports the Special Olympics, and her office points out that it raises more than $100 million annually in private donations. Her budget is unlikely to make it through Congress. The new federal ban on bump stocks is in effect. Bump stocks are gun attachments that allow shooters to fire semi-automatic rifles continuously with only one pull of the trigger. In December, a Justice Department ruling gave owners 90 days to turn their bump stocks in or destroy them. Yesterday was the end of the 90-day period. A family is packing up a truck with supplies and heading to Nebraska. That story is still ahead.
And next on Newswatch, you're going to see a beautiful day, and it's going to lead into rain on the weekend. And here's your stats of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-future teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Hello, I am forecaster Adlai Carwish here, and we're going to take a look at just a little preview today. Beautiful day and night. Spring is finally here, but rains and storms will come for the weekend. Let's just take a look at right now. Right now, 59 degrees, humidity at 20%, winds to the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's definitely a good day to be outside today. Let's take a look around. Athens at 59, Columbus at 57, Ripley at 62. All around, just a beautiful day, almost not a cloud in the sky. And let's take a look at tonight. All through tonight, 37 in Athens, mostly clear. There's a slight chance of rain. Maybe you'll get like a drizzle or two. Winds to the south at 0 to 5 miles per hour. But it's for mostly a clear night. Let's take a look at all around southeastern Ohio. 37 in Athens, 35 in Columbus, 37 in Chillicothe, and 37 in Jackson. So all around in the upper 30s to low 40s throughout tonight. So it is a pretty cool night outside. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy. Sun early, but clouds start to roll in late. There'd be a slight chance of rain. High of 65 degrees. So if you plan to go outside, it'd be a beautiful day. It will be a little windy though, as winds are to the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. But it will be a marvelous day to go outside. And let's take a look at tomorrow in southeastern Ohio. Athens at 65, Columbus at 60, Ripley at 68 degrees, which is just unbelievable. And it's just going to be such a fun time to see. Chillicothe at 64. All around there will be clouds in the sky, but it's still going to be a warm day. The rain is slight, not too much. Let's take a look at your precipcast for tomorrow. You can see not really that much rain there. You're going to see that pushing all around. You're going to see that cold front up there. That's going to become important on Friday. And you're going to see all that rain come in on Friday. It's going to be one rainy day, and it will lead to storms on Saturday. Let's take a look at the weekend outlook here. Friday, 61 degrees and rain early and late. There will be a little bit clear period in the afternoon. Saturday, 66 degrees, but there will be thunderstorms throughout the day, so it definitely won't be clear. There will be a chance for storms. And on Sunday, 47 degrees, cooler and clear, 20% chance of rain. So not much that chance of rain there, but it does get a lot cooler, but it will clear up. And let's take a look at your 7-day outlook here. You can see in the 60s, and once those storms pass on Saturday, the temperature's going to start cooling down throughout the week here as we into the Monday. But it's going to start warming up as we head into next week with even the high of 61. And I'll send it back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Adelaide. Two communities linked by unimaginable tragedy, now dealing with more loss. The recent apparent suicides in Parkland, Florida and Newtown, Connecticut are drawing focus to the long-term psychological impacts of trauma. The stigma around suicide can be difficult to navigate, but as Meredith Wood explains in today's Health Minute, it begins with communication.
The period after a traumatic loss is marked by a series of cruel questions.
What more could I have done? And why did this happen? And maybe even, why not me?
And while time does help some, it can make others feel worse.
They begin to feel more alone and feel unsupported and feel like they don't have permission to talk about it.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides a list of warning signs to help identify if a loved one is at risk. Among them, reckless behavior, irregular sleeping, and extreme mood swings. Suicides can also cluster in communities. The solution begins with providing healthier models of behavior.
What we really need to see more of and give more contact for people is our peers who have gone through these situations, essentially who found ways to cope through seemingly the impossible.
Communication and empathy are key to helping people at risk feel less alone.
Any measure of pain is more tolerable if we're sharing it with somebody else.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
If you or someone you know might be at risk of suicide, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Hi, I'm Thomas Garver. Coming up on Newswatch, the Ohio women's basketball team has a chance to make more history in the WNIT tomorrow. Hear from Bob Bullen before Ohio's Sweet 16 matchup with Western Kentucky. And then right after the break, there's a new Ohio softball player in the record books. How she made history in a big way in Ohio's come-from-behind victory yesterday. That and more when Newswatch returns. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Welcome in, Hardwood fans. Now, as you know, we've already aired our season finale where you see all these great people behind me who made our all-hero and all-future teams. But that doesn't mean our coverage stops. There are still a lot of teams in the playoffs and games left to be played. So if you want to stay up to date with all that and all the other TVC action, then go follow our social media. Like us on Facebook, add us on Snapchat, and follow us on Twitter. And always remember to be heroic.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Thomas Garver. Busy day on the diamond yesterday and an historic one, too. Ohio softball's Morgan Gino came into Tuesday's game against Northern Kentucky, tied for the all-time RBI record at Ohio with 137 runs driven in. I take you to the sixth inning. Gino at the dish, tied at 1, and you knew that thing was gone at the crack of the bat. The outfielder just stops and stares. There it is. Career RBIs 138 and 139. Morgan Gino, the new leader in Ohio softball program history with that 2-run blast. That proved to be the difference in the game. Ohio takes down Northern Kentucky 3-1 for their 5th straight win.
Well, when it went out, I wasn't really thinking about that. I was like, oh, yes, okay, cool. We can get 3 outs and then we won the game and break up a one-hitter. But it feels pretty good. It's something I've worked hard for, just being here. In general, been through a lot of adversity, so it feels pretty good, not gonna lie.
You talk to her about any of the big things that she's accomplished, you know, the week that she hit all the home runs and she's player of the week, and it's like, oh, okay, it's what our team win-loss record matters. And, you know, people like that, they put out these great things and good things happen to them, and it's really great to see that.
Now, just walking distance from the softball field, the Ohio baseball team was also in action over at Bob Wrenn Stadium. Ohio taking on Marshall, pick up the action in the top of the 6th. Tied at 1 apiece, Marshall's Zach Inskeep delivers the goods. That ball gets past a diving Trevor Hafner. Eric Rodriguez comes in to score for the Thundering Herd. Marshall scores 5 runs in the final 4 innings to win 6-1. Ohio drops at 5-17 on the year. Back to the drawing board before facing BG this weekend.
This weekend it's Bowling Green, and you know, there's some good teams in our league. I think that certainly Bowling Green, for us to create a path to the conference tournament, Bowling Green is a series that we have to be competitive to not just get a game, but I think we have to win the series, right? And so we got to go in with that goal in mind and nothing less.
The 2018-2019 campaign has already been one of the best seasons in Ohio women's basketball program history. They've won the most games in a season with 29 wins. Monty Burke and CeCe Hooks both hit the 1,000-point plateau in their careers. Plus, Hooks broke her own steals record for a single season in their win this past Sunday. Tomorrow, though, presents another chance at a couple more milestones. Ohio can reach the Elite 8 of the WNIT for the first time in program history, and they can be the first team to win 30 games in a single season.
It's been a special team. It's been a special ride, and you know, you get the sense that there's still more out there, and it's my job to try to push them to achieve it, and it's their job to go out and work to achieve it. So we'll see what we can do, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have a wrap-up show and we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. But I think there's still stuff to be done.
Tomorrow morning is the Ohio football's 2019 Pro Day. The event kicks off in the weight room at 11:30, where notable Ohio seniors A.J. Ouellette, Poppy White, Joe Lowry, and Joe Anderson will all try to impress NFL scouts with the goal of hearing their names called in this year's NFL draft. The most Bobcats selected ever in the draft is just 2. White, Anderson, and Lowry have received significant interest from NFL teams. Bobcats Showcase will be there tomorrow to get all the action from Ohio's Pro Day. And man, it's pretty cool. A.J. Ouellette, he was a walk-on at Ohio, one of the most decorated running backs in program history. It'll be cool to see him work out there, and we'll see what happens come April's draft.
That is super, super exciting. I would love so much to see any of our OU guys make it in the pros. But so it is still March. Why don't you tell me what's happening with March Madness?
Yeah, how about this? Only one man from Columbus. He's got a perfect bracket. That's never happened entering the Sweet 16. That's crazy. You know what's really cool, Ben? Me and him both have picked the Gonzaga Bulldogs to win the whole thing. So I'm definitely going to be rooting for him. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, good luck to you and him. It's actually the first time that this has ever happened in history, according to the NCAA. The man was actually sick on the day of tip-off and almost didn't fill out a bracket. The NCAA says the odds of achieving what he did are less than 1 in 280 trillion. Several states across the Midwest have declared states of emergency following severe flooding. And with another inch of rain expected in that area later this week, flooding could get worse. But one family is stepping up and planning to drive to Nebraska with trucks filled with donations. Shevin and Kendra Schmidtke say they know what it's like to lose everything.
We lost our business shed a couple years ago to a fire. People stepped up, helped us, and until you're on your knees watching your stuff go away, you'll never understand what them people are going through.
It all started when the couple posted their plan on Facebook, and the very next day, donations started pouring in.
Let's take a look at final weather here. Tonight, 37 degrees and mostly clear, slight chance of rain. Let's take a look at tomorrow. Beautiful day outside. Sun, but the clouds will come in late. 65 degrees outside, winds to the southwest at 15 to 10 miles per hour. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook here. All around, all the board will be high. There's some storms during the weekend. We'll cool down and then warm back up, and we'll send it back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Adelaide, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Ben Schwartz. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.